All right, debate: should wealthy nations relax laws on immigration? So let's start with the against team and persons 1 and 2. Then we'll go back to persons 1 and 2 here, and then we'll have time for question and answer. So as you're listening, please take notes and prepare questions to ask. So like everyone that participated in this question and answers. If I could ask you to, I prefer that you close your laptops too, so I know you're being a good audience. Okay, whenever you're ready.
Okay. Would you like to end slavery? Would you like to end bad payment and would you like to reduce the most amount of unemployment and crime from a city and from a country, or better? Could you imagine a life without immigration? No, I don't think so. But today our group is saying that it believes, that immigration in wealthy and rich countries should be illegal and not allowed. The reason why I'm saying that is because we want to stop illegal people to come to different countries and start a new life. We want to stop unemployed people that can cause crime and drug deal. Also, we want to stop non-skilled people that that make the country go backwards instead of forwards. And the worst thing is we want to stop people we want to stop the non-paying taxes that are related with mostly with immigration. And to do all these, the first step that we have to do is take immigration. So, as I said before, we believe that immigration should be not allowed in wealthy and rich countries. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gonzalo. Okay, person 2.
The main reason to be anti-immigrant is the economic cost. It's expensive for a country to keep the immigrants. Everybody wants a job, and it's going to be more difficult to find a job for local people than for the others. It's also difficult because of social services. For example, education, healthcare. Poor immigrants, they need a lot of healthcare, so they don't pay tax to the government, and they don't contribute to society. If population keeps growing, it's bad for the environment of this country. Another big reason is crime rate. More immigrants, it's bigger opportunity for drug dealers, terrorists, and other criminals. Country with high population of the immigrants will always deal with the crime. Culture identity could be lost. Immigrants of other countries come together in cultural group when they arrive to a new country, rather than mixing with local culture. Looking from the perspective of country, when people are living, it also can be bad because this country will be uh, without qualified people, and these people could help their own country rather than others. Thank you.
Thanks for us. No, we'll go into persons 1 and 2 minutes from now. Who's that?
Should wealthy countries relax the laws? Yes, I agree with the statement as on the group. And every single day, the people in wealthy countries are asking the question: is immigration significant, good or bad? It is, because if we didn't have immigration, the economy will corrupt. Because I don't know, like in America, the immigrants are cheap labor, and they always taking the jobs which are hard for the people to take, like a manual job. And nobody, I don't know, in Switzerland, they don't want to do it because it's a hard and annoying job. And the immigrants are willing to do it because they don't really have opportunity, because the laws are too strict for them. And they don't have enough skills because the country don't want to give them the course of learning language, and the country just want to get rid of them, and they don't want to give them the opportunity. And how we could see in the movie before, we have some educated immigrants, and they're willing to get the education, and they have a lot of skill, and they are ambitious to get it. That's it.
Thank you. Person 2.
Do you know the significance of the immigrants? They're basically effects on employment, and they're really good for the host country's economy, because immigrant people, often in wealthy countries, people don't want to do hard job. So in that point, the significance of the immigrant starts, because the people that are immigrant to another country do jobs that people in host countries don't want to do, and they are working longer hours than the host country's people, and they're having lower money compared to other people in the host countries, and this situation benefits with the host countries. And according to the Washington Post, Albert says, I cannot read this. Albert
The name?
says, yeah.
Okay, that's okay.
Said immigration provides overall economic gains to a country. In home countries, immigrants educated differently, and their cultures, languages, heritages are different. So when they come to another country, obviously they will spread their cultures, languages, and the people in the host country are gonna learn new cultures, and this affects multiculture. Thank you.
So, person 3 is not clear.
Well, we're going to go into questions and answers. So I'll let this team, you have 1 minute to pose questions. Remember, the idea is you're going to ask a question and let them respond. Okay.
So they're gonna lose their culture? That's what you mean?
No, they're gonna spread their culture. For example, you are coming to this school, and in International Day, you are making your own food and show your culture.
Yeah, but it's different.
Yeah, but the people are learning this.
Okay, does really native people care about the culture of immigrants that come here?
Some people are not able to travel on the world, so if they have immigration, they can kind of meet new people and explore themselves. It's not like everybody have money to, I don't know, go to America. And if you have immigrations, you're able to see kind of the world because of the immigrants.
Yeah, but you said that Natalia, you said that the country wants to get rid of them, but they actually not. They just want to leave because the country is bad. But if we resolve the problem of their country, immigration should not be.
But it's not like you're gonna resolve
It's the
their
same thing.
country. It's
Why
like
not?
It's the same thing as you run out from the problems that you get.
Yeah.
Because people live in bad countries and they want to immigrate just because they cannot do anything in their country. Actually, they can. Everybody can do everything
Yeah.
always. So
The only thing that they just want
firstly, they should solve our problems in their countries, and then they should think about immigration to another country.
Okay, guys, I'm gonna flip it to this team. So 1 minute to pose questions to this team.
Why do you think the immigrants are low skilled?
those killed.
It's because statistics like low skill, not.
Oh, low skill, because as you said, they had traveled to learn the skills in their country, but when they come to when they think that they're gonna have a better life in another country, they just move and they don't have any skills. So what they're doing is just trying to do any kind of job, but like actually they could.
But what do you
They're trying to like make another life that is not worth it, because if they have to work hard, why they want to leave from their country? They want to like just work hard and like be like like I don't know,
What
not,
do you
not
think?
have a good life,
But what do you think if the country will relax the laws and help them to get the skill? What will
Yes,
happen?
but as you said, like manual.
No. What do you think if they will relax the law and they will give them the opportunity to explore themselves? What do you think? What they
Yeah,
will happen?
that's good. But like as you said, like normally immigration people goes to easy jobs, and easy job is manual job. Manual jobs are not easy.
They
And
going to job like that because the
Yeah, but
country are
like
not giving
that's
them
not
anything
a good
else.
job. So like what you're doing is just giving people really bad jobs and making them suffer and making them think that they are gonna have a better life doing this kind of job, but like they're not.
Not every country is like America.
Yeah.
Like like giving you a new chance, giving you a new job, maybe new highway stuff.
And also like that also brings, if you don't have skills, that also brings to the slavery.
Okay, guys, sorry I gotta cut you off, but some good follow-up conversation. Continue to take notes and write more questions. We'll do more question and answer. Let's come back to team 1, team A with persons 3 and 4. I think person 3 was Samuel, right? He didn't write his speech in the document, so you wanna? You have something?
Number 4?
You number 4?
Yeah. I'm number 4.
Okay.
Да. He's number 4.
I'll improvise.
Read one more message.
Yeah, you got your card.
I have on my lap.
I want to ask this team, imagine that in your country, let's look at Switzerland, the country we live in. There's 7 million inhabitants here, 2 million of them are immigrants. That is, that they're not Swiss nationals living and working here. Yes, some of them contribute to the economy, but an interesting fact is that 60% of people in prison in Switzerland are foreigners, immigrants. And these foreigners and immigrants have abused the system, have committed violent crimes, such as murder, rape, and these facts, unfortunately, are true. So I ask you, imagine you in your home country, a person from the outside, a person who speaks a different language with a different religion, a different culture, comes in, abuses your system, uses your tax money to use the services that are provided by the government, may or may not commit crimes against you and your family. I want to ask you today, would you accept this person into your country? Okay.
Would you?
Person 4. You ready, Kira?
No, it's me. It's
Oh, okay,
person 5 and 6.
Ну, запиши что-то. Да, нет, не ждали, что-то они делают.
Okay.
immigration. Immigration is really big part of someone's culture, but I think, and my team think, that uh, immigration causes a lot of problems. Like, especially immigrants are starting with low wages, and as far as sources say that they're coming, when a lot of immigrants immigrating to certain countries, the criminal rate is increasing a lot. Uh, in the United States, there are some policies of taxes like if you earn $20,000 or $30,000 per year, you don't need to pay. You need to pay less taxes than people that earn like $100,000 or $200,000. And plus, those who earn less, they have a free education, and this free education will provide for their children to have a job in future. But because immigrants are immigrating to United States, for example, they're stealing their children's job and leaving the whole country, not the whole country, like a lot of people unemployed. And I think that's kind of unfair because the parents were trying their best to provide the best for their children, and because immigrants are coming to another countries, they're stealing their job. In addition, I was talking before about the crime. When immigrants came, I will talk about the United States. I have an example. In 2009, immigrants immigrated to United States, and the criminal rate increased by 2% a month, I guess. Yes, and it's pretty big, and that's the country believe that, and my team believe that if immigration level will go down, then it will be really useful, and and crime will crime will go down, and no, much more job vacations will be available. Yes.
Okay, thanks about
No go.
No, we'll go back to questions 3 and 4 in this time.
I wanted to talk about U.S. because in U.S. there are lots of Mexican immigrants, and they're really happy in the United States, and they don't want to go. They don't want to go their home countries because their conditions are better in the United States. For example, Ricardo is an illegal Mexican immigrant in the United States. He is really happy, but he is illegal, so he needs to go back to his home country, but he doesn't want to go, and he couldn't get his wife and children to United States because he doesn't want them to be in an illegal immigrant, and he works as a hard worker, like they don't want to do in United States, so he's happy in there.
Okay, thanks, Evan.
So,
You need the graph or you need
I need a graph.
the. You do?
I need.
Okay. Why don't you pull it up on the web? Can you pull it up on my computer? Oh, sorry, I'm logging in. Which
That was there.
okay.
This one.
Inside here.
So, Japan has a long history of keeping tight lid on immigration, unlike other countries such as America or Switzerland. There is no show policy for immigration in Japan. For 55 years, the birth rate in Japan has dropped 20%. Accordingly, by 2050, the population in Japan is expected to fall from 128 million to 90 million. Common sense dictates that the combination of increasing elderly population with decreasing working age population will lead pressure on social security, which may in turn pass the cost on to those of working age through increasing taxes. So as the diagram shows, the prolonged deflation and low birth rate will be the permanent state of bad economy condition, and this could be happen in other countries. And promotion of an effective immigration policy will produce effect in a shorter time than step taken to rise nation's birth rate. So we believe by allowing people from a wide variety of racial and cultural background to mix together, a new breed of culture, creativity, and energy will rise, and which surely renew Japan, and this could be work in other countries.
Okay. Back to questions and answers. So, team one, you guys have 1 minute to pose questions to team two. Team B.
What kind of question to say?
Any questions
Yeah.
related to what
She
what
said-
topic or what they said?
Example of a person that is immigrant and goes to America and he is happy. Is one of the is a good example, but do you think that being illegal in one you don't think that being illegal it's illegal and it's bad for a country because he's not paying anything and he's just consuming and just maybe doing something that is not legal.
Yeah, you're right, but in this debate question, I'm in the middle. I'm not really agree or disagree. I'm in the middle, but it's a bad thing for the United States to be an illegal person. But it's good for the economy.
For the economy, no.
But
Because he's not paying taxes. If he's not paying taxes, the government is not
And the
getting.
government pays for
It's
him,
not
and
getting-
it's very expensive to pay with
Yeah,
social
it's not getting
services.
Yeah, also.
No będzie really for native life there.
Imagine how many
There are
immigrants, for
social reasons.
example, let's take United States as an example, how many immigrants every year immigrate to United States, and every year the number of the taxes which the government should pay in services is increasing, and it's getting the country like by small parts. It's also giving the country a chance of financial crisis.
I'm in the middle.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's
no.
flip it back. Team B, let's hear some questions from you.
Why do you think the crime increased? Do you think the immigrants are discriminated to just commit the
It's a
It's
crime?
a fact,
It's
and
not-
like
it's not-
the
it's not-
statistics
it's
show.
Yeah, it's not.
No,
that we-
but do you think that the immigrants are discriminated?
No, we are
That
not.
and then that's why they want to commit the crime because the native people are
no.
humiliated.
No, it's not about this. It's about
Okay, can you imagine you're working like for 30 years, your whole entire life just to provide your children with the work and like a job, and you're doing everything for them, and then they don't have any job because some other immigrants just came
Like
from
Jews.
another country.
This is.
No, it's not so.
No, but you
Hello, Hitler.
And then like
I will
the
explain later.
and then just like illegal person in your country where you were working for this country for a long time, you just take your sons or daughters to work. Would it be like a good thing for that? And then your children will be, I don't know, unemployed and then maybe even.
But sometimes the companies they taking somebody from different country because
Okay,
they're
but-
better than the people in
Yeah,
the country.
no, because they're cheaper.
And they're
No,
cheaper.
because
Yeah.
they're better.
No, they're
No, if
cheaper.
they are
Not
better, they
always.
would come legally.
Yeah.
In
Yeah.
America, maybe they could think that the immigrants from Europe are better, like Germans or Italians. But
Yeah,
Well,
it's true.
in Germany, people are.
From wealthy countries, no, it's true. From wealthy
Well, I
countries.
mean, if you don't want to listen, I won't say anything.
Okay, guys, let's move on. We'll come back. There's one more question and answer session, but you've got a lot of interesting ideas. So let's continue with person Kiro. I think you're up next. Person 5 and 6. So then, could you hit the bottom left light switch? Bottom left. Thank you. Good deal. Can you
Yeah.
spin the podium to look at them? Yeah. Okay.
Okay. So, immigration is a very difficult process for any country, even for US. But is it really worth the sacrifice? Is it really worth to a country pay a lot of money for immigrants who come to the country, say that they will work, say that they will respect the rules, and understand all of that? But like months or two after, they don't do anything and they commit a lot of crimes. Maybe they even kill people. Maybe they sell drugs, push drugs. They could do anything that goes against the system just because they never used to live about like that. Just because they came from poorer countries where they don't have things like laws. I will give you an example. For instance, in Ukraine, we have a lot of immigrants coming from different countries, but mostly those countries could be like Chechnya. Although it's part of Russia, but I will tell you one thing. One day, I found myself on the street walking out, and there was like 10 Chechenian people. Like they were like 18 years old. They weren't so old and all that stuff, but they were probably immigrants because I see that they weren't so rich and probably they looked like immigrants because they mostly speak their language and their Russian and Ukrainian was awful. And they just, after like 10 minutes I walked through them, they like just robbed the store. Like it was 12 in the morning, you know? I mean in the evening, like 12. And I think it's really bad. I think it's bad when you let people come, and they say, they promise, and then after they don't do anything. Should we trust them? Should we really trust any immigrant that comes to our country that says that I will bring my culture, my work, I will be a labor force, a cheap labor force, whatever. And will he really do that? And well, there will be there are an upcoming problems for countries who allow a lot of people to come to their country as an immigrant. For instance, the civil disobedience could happen because of the immigrants getting jobs from other people, from native people who live there, who were born there, who knows this country well, who knows the street where he lives and he works in that shop or somewhere else. And just an immigrant comes 2 days ago and takes his job because he's an immigrant. Is that fair? Is that really fair for people who live there for 30 years? It's not. It's not fair at all. You did your work better than him and he just came and took your job. Imagine yourself in his position.
Okay, Kiro, I gotta stop because you're almost at 3 minutes. Okay?
Yeah, I have second one. Because
Okay.
I'm person number 5. I mean number 6.
5 and 6.
Okay,
Both
okay.
at
Are you
the same
going into the second one
Yeah.
then? Okay, keep going.
Or maybe I need a minute to read it first. I mean by
Okay.
myself so I understand what they say.
Okay, let's continue then. Person 6.
Can I have 1 minute? Like break?
30 seconds. Yeah.
30 seconds.
Скажи ти като що Да мне надо с ними поспорить, типа сказать, почему вы не правы, почему вы должны
И
быть.
скажите, потому что иммигранты не платят налоги, мы не можем построить нормальные дороги, потому что не хватает денег, и мы должны платить за них. Скажи, мы не можем хорошую
Инвестировать в хорошие вещи.
Образование, система образования.
Что ты понял?
Только не представляю, всех же можно всех подряд. Ничего не надо.
Yeah, okay. Mostly we should state our position on negative about immigration. Why? Because immigrants come from different countries, behave themselves as a local civilians when they are not. They should respect the law, culture and position by the country that they immigrated to. And we clearly think that the countries should rethink about their propositions for people who want to come there to live and work. And what I want to say about immigrants, why you are not correct about them. Why you think they coming, getting, yeah, that's good when they bring a new culture. But as I said, not every country is like America. America was built on immigrants. There wasn't a native people, Indians, really, you won't see them a lot there actually. There is mostly of them Chinese, like Irish or other people. And other Europe, in Europe it's different. People just have different like way of thinking about it. And I will say why it's bad. First, people coming to country like political stuff, they maybe won't pay taxes because like in different countries have different tax rate, and maybe for people who come from poor countries, maybe from Egypt, and they come in like Germany or Switzerland, and they're like they should pay the tax each month or each year. And if they don't pay, maybe the government won't have enough money for investing in something else, like roads. We can say like social things like hospitals and police, of course. I mean, no country will live without police. Secondly, I think it could cause a high unemployment rate for other people, because, as I said, immigrants, they come from different countries. They don't know how it works in other countries. Maybe it will be different. The business could be different. The way of making business is different in every country. And people could just destroy everything by first people say, oh, you're an immigrant, you could be better than my native person, and I will accept you. I will think that you have more experience, you know better. He will accept him, and maybe he doesn't really know what he's gonna be after. And after that, maybe immigrants make a lot of mistakes because their system is different from the countries that they immigrate. And I think it will cause a lot of problems for a government. Like, as I said, civilian disobedience could be like a large protests against the government letting people immigrate because they take their jobs and they behave like native people, although they immigrated for 1 year or 1 month, you know.
Okay.
I think
You gotta hurry up, Kirill, because you're going over time, okay?
Alright.
Let's continue persons 5 and 6. Too bad.
I'm gonna talk about economics. Most of you know that immigrants are good for cheap labor. And many people don't like them because they're thinking they're stealing their jobs. But usually they take jobs that usually people don't want to work, like a sewer worker or like a I don't know, like a paint of a building, something like that. And in some way, it gains economic welfare. Welfare is a social effort. Because maybe in most countries, the consumers are immigrants because the most of the populations are from other countries. Immigrants often offer their skills that they have more advantage than us. Like Some immigrants from other countries good at cooking or like I don't know some good at science. So they actually can go in our country offer their skills knowledge in health industry or even like a workforce. That's all.
Okay.
Number 6.
Okay.
Immigrants. Who are they? People who are escaping their countries to not the countries of war or the bad things in the country and searching for a good life in other countries. But the key word in this definition is people, a human being. A human being, any of a human being, have to have a second chance for a better life. This type of view is not only morality right. It's good. It's right from a view even of economic system, because in other countries that are not having trouble with immigrants, they're actually benefiting from them because of again of cheap labor and some skills that it provide. And the good thing about immigrants are bring their culture to us. They're not making us to learn them. If we want, we can learn. So actually, their culture is not dying, and we're learning something from new for them. And by that way, we are editing our humanity.
Excuse me, what?
Humanity.
No, before that.
No,
So
editing.
Edited?
Editing.
I didn't. Yes. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's all.
Thanks. Thanks, Rodney. Let's turn it over to. So I'll give you 1 minute to pose questions to Team B. Okay. And you guys let them respond, and we'll turn it back the other way.
So he said that that they bring their culture to your country. But you think it's a good point that they bring their culture to your country, and then maybe in 100 years
Your
it will-
country is losing.
yeah, you're losing your culture. And some people even will think that their culture is kind of similar to your culture,
Yeah,
because
because
that's
culture
what
is
happened in my country. Because a lot of Uzbeks are immigrating to Kazakhstan by bringing their culture, and a lot of people now think that food in Uzbekistan is part of Kazakh culture, and you really think it's good thing for me. It's like when people say oh, it's a Kazakh food, right? It's kind of offensive, I think, and I think it would be the same for US.
Actually, immigrants don't make people you there learn my culture or something like that.
No, it's not about the
Let him respond.
So what I mean, actually, on the other half, we can do the same thing to their country, bring our customs to them. Of course, it's gonna be wait, I forgot that word. Melting pot. But isn't it better to send other countries? For example, if we're gonna send more each other, then there's gonna be less problem with other countries.
Yeah, but as a point, every country should keep their backgrounds. And for example, if more immigrants will keep coming, this country will become multinational. And exactly the origin will. The people will lose their origin, the traditions, food, even the nation. They are gonna mix, the people from different countries and nations. It's gonna be in one whole mix. That's what happened with Ukraine. During the 100 years, there were a lot of wars in Ukraine. Different countries were conquering, so the nation were mixing.
Okay. Let's turn it back to this team. So 1 minute to ask questions of this team. Let them respond.
Why do you think immigration take native people jobs? Because I think companies prefer to give job to immigration people because they work well.
No,
Or
I
better
think
than
we said that
Cheap
they're
labor.
It's cheap labor.
Yeah,
They work well and
They
you
know.
No,
you
but most
focus,
of the immigrants come
They know.
without
They
But-
know that
but
people.
you focus
it
on
only
people
depends
which are
on their
illegal in the
education.
country.
No.
You focus on the people which are illegal in the
No,
country. It's
we-
not like
we are-
every single immigrant is
For me,
illegal and
the-
it's bad and it's like it's a cheap
If I
labor.
would be owner of the company and I would see like the immigrant asking me to pay him $200 and has the same skills as a native guy and who required $1,000, of course I would pay him. But it's illegal and this guy I know. I'm
And-
doing the wrong thing, but this
And it's different to say immigration from a good wealthy country to another good wealthy country than immigration from a bad country to another good wealthy country. Because when it's wealthy to wealthy, you know that people had education, had everything, so he's gonna work, he's gonna have a job, he's gonna know what to do. And but if you do immigration from not a rich and wealthy country to a rich and wealthy country, you know that they're gonna just do whatever they can to survive, and that's maybe implicates like I don't know just I don't know implicates their sense to maybe not have education or not reach enough money to to buy a house or like and they try to do whatever they can. It's, you know what I mean? Like it's just it's bad. You know it's. I don't know. Normally, immigration introduces all these bad things in rich and wealthy countries. So yeah.
Thank you guys. Let's go on to the last two parts, person 7 and 8, and then
This is what?
Yeah.
Wait, yes, yes.
7 first. Okay. As we've been saying, we believe that wealthy and rich countries, wealthy and rich countries, should not allow immigration, and immigration should be illegal in that kind of countries. So the reason of that is because rich and wealthy countries should not have illegal people or high percentage of unemployment or crime or unregulated slavery or people that don't pay taxes because that makes the country weak and dangerous. So we should try to make the people contribute to the country and we want to like we want to qualify people to be able to work in our wealthy and rich countries, and to do that we can do two things, or either we can say that immigration is illegal and as we believe, or if it's impossible and it's really hard to do that, we should actually make immigration really strict and make sure that people that comes to the wealthy and rich countries have an education, have a goal, and have a want to like make wants to contribute in the new countries. So that's our point. Thank you very much.
Thanks, Gonzalo. Person 8.
Okay, I think we heard a lot today against and for the immigration. It was many things said on this topic. But as I said before, and my team thinks, I think immigration is bad for every country. Let's look just at the statistics of the people who are coming to the country. Yeah, not all of the immigrants are the same, but the most of them, people who are coming to the country, they're not respecting your culture, they not respect you, your family. Most of them don't work. They don't even encourage them to get the passport of that country to try to be even citizens. And in the consequences of these things. The country pays for these people. For example, in the United States, to pay for the immigrant for every year, it's $20,000 every year. So let's come, like for example, if like 1 million of immigrants coming just from one country, it's like already 30 million. Country should pay just extra for these immigrants. Your diversity, like the origin of the country, is losing because the culture is mixing, and the country just like getting more corrupted and crime because most of the people who are coming immigrants, they are not working, they killing people, the terrorism increasing, and I can say that we should ban immigration because this will cause huge problems in the future. Thank you for your attention.
Thanks, Ross. Okay, let's turn over to person 7.
Okay, so as a definition of immigrants, they are poor people that come from other countries to a better life. But even if they are they are poor and they come from other countries, like poor countries, I think we should respect them because even if they are immigrating for, like an example can be the United States, like Mexicans come from the States, but even if they are immigrating, they are having like a hard life because the government puts a lot of laws and rules for immigration. So we think that immigration is not bad for rich countries because they get workers for cheap salaries, even if they take the cheapest job. So immigration can become a good thing to the country, like gaining economic welfare, even if there are some bad things that can happen. We strongly agree that immigration is not bad for a country, and the government should come down so the immigrants can have more opportunities to work or like more laws they can get so they can get some works.
Thanks, Miguel.
As a final conclusion for this debate, again, we strongly believe that each country should willingly accept immigration from poor countries. Thus, reason there are some advantage to both sides. I mean, poor countries people and rich countries people, as our team described. And many countries are being increasingly globalized today. So especially rich countries need the laborers for expanding their economy to compete with other countries. And it is obvious that poor countries people need the money, so they're looking for a job. So immigration is a common way to get a job easily. So there is no reason that against the give and take relationship between poor countries and poor countries people and rich countries people.
Thanks, Ian. Okay. Thank you very much, everybody. Any final comments to each other?
Immigration should not be allowed.
Should not be allowed.
Or questions, I should say. Maybe better.
What is the point of all this?
What's the point of what?
To listen different opinions about what's up.